Hello, what's up, people? Welcome to Let's Be Honest, where your hosts Derek and Corey talk all the way from the NBA to the NFL to WWE. All the interesting and juicy details is right here. And let's be honest, we know you love hearing it.
Welcome. What a week. We've done a lot over the past week. It's kind of crazy. Lots of things have changed. But we're going to get into that in a second. How are y'all doing? I'm Derek, of course. Let's be honest. Obviously here we have our co-host coming in from someplace in Alabama. We're not sure where he's from, but, you know, he's here. Corey. How you doing?
Hey, Derek, how you doing?
I'm all right. Had a rough week, have you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. And, as always, the one who does the most.
Work.
Our producer, Tamia.
Hello.
Oh man, we have. I just want y'all to know before we kind of get into the show. I just want y'all to know we have a huge social media team around here. Like we have a huge staff. Like it's like 25 people who work really hard to kind of bring this show together. So. For those of you who have been following us, you know, we started on Podomatic and we just, you know, we had a simple Facebook page. So now we're kind of branching out. Tamia, why don't you tell them about these social media websites?
Well, if y'all would like to follow us on Facebook at letsbehonest.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at letsbehonest89, or you can follow us on Instagram at lets_be_honest_podcast.
That is a lot.
And you can also follow us on, you can watch us on YouTube. Just search Let's Be Honest with Derek and Corey. And you can also listen to us on iTunes and Google Play. Again, do a search for Let's Be Honest with Derek and Corey. So, yeah, y'all can listen to us almost everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, just everywhere. We're just all over the place. Corey, what do you think about that?
Perfect. We're all over the place like Roman Reigns.
Why did you have to do that? Why?
Oh, and you can't forget Podomatic. You can listen to our podcast on Podomatic at letsbehonest01.podomatic.com.
Which is kind of where this all started. That's our home base. You can go there, and hopefully you go there to do all your Amazon shopping, but we'll kind of get into that later. Right now, of course, we gotta let Corey do his thing today or this week in wrestling history. Corey, take it away.
Well, there's several topics we could talk about for this week in wrestling. And I'm going to touch on two because one of them is really one of my favorite matches. First things first, the Elimination Chamber returned as of yesterday. You know, for a time being, WWE stopped doing that match, and then they ended up doing a network special for it. Now, that match, it was passable. Well, I say match, but they were passable. They were exactly the best. They could have been better, but it was a return to form, so, you know, they could have, test the water to see how we liked them. Then, of course, the Elimination Chamber returned with an updated chamber. Now, that match, the Smackdown one, I think it is now, it was really good, really good. Elimination Chamber is one of my favorite matches. And the other topic, if I'm not mistaken, our current NXT Women's Champion, Asuka, very nice wrestler. She has actually surpassed Goldberg's work this streak of like 100 and something wins. I can't remember the exact number.
174. 174.
174. 174 wins. There's nobody stopping Asuka.
She beat the streak.
Good job, Corey. You're really bringing the wood there. Kind of hate it because you uppercut me. That's a little rude of you, as usual.
Oh, sorry. I just Asuka plugged out.
Yeah, I see you did, but what you did there is you kind of took the spotlight because I've got that up in our social media segment, which is the third segment. So, yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll still go over it. I won't let Corey steal all the sunshine. But anyway, so like I said, I was speaking last week. Obviously, we started talking about this YouTube thing that we're doing. But also, Tamia has her own little YouTube thing that she does every now and again, maybe every blue moon. So, Tamia, you want to let them know what's up over there?
It's just a channel I created like in 2011 when me and Derek moved to the city, and I just wanted to document like our lives. So I just made this little vlogging channel, and it's just us in our day-to-day life, you know, doing different things. And
I've you know, if you watch it from the beginning and you watch it all the way up until current, you know, you'll and as I said last week, you'll kind of find while we were kind of going for so long, you know, a couple personal things I won't, you know, talk about over the air, but yeah, it's a really good little thing what we do. Not only does it let you into what we do behind the scenes, but also lets you kind of get an idea of our personal life, right? And you know, it's kind of like isn't that kind of like something you'd see on CLT or something like that?
TLC.
Yeah, that. Sorry,
Yep.
said that backwards. But you know, it kind of puts you in the mind of that. We're in the works of getting Corey his own show. Anyway, so before we get started, does anybody have anything to bring to this opening monologue?
I do have to say that I would put all the links and everything to the social media and to the YouTube pages in the description.
All right. So, with that being said, let's get prepped.
I have a pen. I have an apple. Apple pen.
All right. So, first thing going on here, kind of flashing to the news. We got a little controversy. I guess it's not really controversy, but a little issue with Tiger Woods. Corey, you heard about this?
Oh, God, yeah.
Y'all related?
No.
Y'all related, Corey? You seen that mugshot, right?
I mean, yeah. What in the world happened to Tiger Woods?
That mugshot of his, that's a little frightening. I mean, you would think he's prepping for like a WWE career or something like that, because I mean, like, he is upset.
I was like, is this Tiger Woods? What in the world is happening? It just seemed like everything came crashing down, and Tiger Woods just like gave up on life. It reminds me of this video from years ago. I'm talking about when we were probably kids. This video is probably like, I'm Tiger Woods. I'm like Tiger Woods. And just show this video of Tiger Woods, you know, winning golf tournaments, and now you have this. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a one of those stories where, you know, it starts out beautiful and it ends up bad. I used to like or watch Tiger Woods kind of back then, you know, when he first got started. He kind of, you know, for people, I'm just going to say it, African Americans who don't play golf, he kind of made it popular.
Yeah.
Which he did, and there's others who did other sports that naturally African Americans wouldn't play. So I kind of I'm not going to say I looked up to him, but I thought he was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I was agreeing.
Yeah, I thought he was, he's a kind of cool guy, which I still think he's a cool guy but I'm not mad about it. I'm not upset. I'm not going to rip his pictures off the wall like, LeBron leaving Cleveland. But I just feel like this is just something that happened. And what they said is that he got pulled over for they arrested him for a DUI, right? But it's not actually DUI. It's not like driving under the influence.
Yeah.
So it's more like it was under the influence, but it wasn't of alcohol. When you hear DUI, when you hear DUI, you think, he's drunk.
Drinking and driving.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, but the actual story is that he was, he's on some meds,
Medication.
and I'm not going to go naming out meds because I don't know, but he was on some meds and he wound up asleep at the wheel with his car on. He was a couple miles away from his house. This happened in Florida, I believe.
I think it was someplace in Florida. I can't.
Yeah.
That location.
Yeah, I believe it was in Florida, but anyway, so it's interesting to see where he goes from here, though. Like, so what the question is, what do you think? Like, do you think he has a career after this? Because you hear all these horror stories about, people who they're such famous and then all of a sudden they either shoot themselves in the leg like that football player did that time, or, they go and do something crazy. But being that this is, prescriptions, what do you think happens to his career now?
The same thing he did when he had that whole affair thing going on.
Well, I mean, everybody in sports has an affair. Ask Kobe.
Ooh.
But anyway, but Corey, you're about to say something.
I mean, I think he can turn his life around. I mean, I don't think it's like too bad compared to some of the other famous actors, and sports people out there. I mean, I think he can as long as he keeps his head up and doesn't do anything, crazy or something.
Yeah, I agree. I just keep your head low and stay away from the police.
And make better choices. Like somebody commented, I don't know if it was comment or if it was an article. Like, Cyclist has all this money. Why couldn't he just get a cab or something? Or I don't understand not trusting Uber, but why didn't he just pay somebody to drive him if he knows he wasn't in any position to drive?
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. Maybe he should have. That's one of those judgment calls. I don't know, but yeah, like I said, I don't know whether he can build off of this, or I don't even know if he's in shape to even continue anyway. He has bad knee, he has bad back, bad ankle, so I don't know if he's in position to play anyway. But speaking of playing, well, and I guess this happened tonight because here we are recording on a Thursday, but the NBA Finals are tonight. Obviously Tamia has the results because she's up and ready.
Yep.
So let me set this up real quick. But so you have the Golden State Warriors and Cleveland again. Now this is the third time that this has happened. This is 3 times already. Doesn't that seem like a little setup-ish?
Seriously, like third time in 3 years?
Yes, this is the 3rd time.
Good. That's great.
Now, mind you, I mean, I honestly feel I don't know how I feel about this. Actually, I feel it seems a little weird how this this matchup just continues to happen over and over and over again, and it kind of throws me back to that whole the way the NBA does the way they do their drafts. Right, they do draft lotteries. Well, they reach in and they pull the balls, and you and I don't know if y'all know this, but way back during the Patrick Ewing era, when they would do the draft lottery, right, they would reach in, okay, they would reach in and they'd pull out the envelope that has whatever team on it, right, and so they'd reach in, they'd pull out the envelope, and what they would do is whoever would hold the draft, they would put certain envelopes in the freezer. And then by the time the draft comes, they'll put it inside of the tumbler, right? So when you go in to reach for it, you reach for your envelope, your hand's going to be attracted to, the different temperature envelope, right?
Yeah.
Find all this out.
It's one of those NBA conspiracies.
Oh, Lord. Conspiracy.
I never first time hearing about that.
Yeah, I'm big into conspiracies. I don't make conspiracies out of everything, but I'm big into conspiracies. But anyway, so 3 times. Obviously, you have the results. So tell me what's going on.
Well, the Warriors won 113-91.
And this is game 1. Now, this happened tonight, right?
Yes.
113, you said?
Yep.
So the Warriors won, so that's game 1 of 7. So the next game, I'm assuming, is going to be Saturday because I think they do them 2 days out. So the next one's going to be Saturday. We'll have that info up and ready. We'll post it on all of our social media accounts since we have so many of them now. So, Corey, what do you think about that? About the 3-time repeat match. What do you think about that? A little unusual, don't you think?
Yeah, it was highly unusual. I mean, the chances are very, very low for that to even happen. At least in my book, it is. I don't know. It seemed like a conspiracy, like you was saying. It sounds like almost like Alabama. Yeah, I know it is. I'm comparing apples to oranges, but unfortunately, I have some Alabama fans on Facebook who are also Cavaliers fans.
Well, obviously we're all Auburn fans here, so when we think Alabama, we think conspiracies, right?
Right.
So, and I have a lot of conspiracy stories about Alabama myself, but anyway. Go ahead, Trey.
The game is going to be June 4th.
June the 4th?
On Sunday.
So that's this Sunday, okay. So I'm assuming they're going back to Cleveland because the first game was in California. So I'm assuming they're going to Cleveland. So
you wanted to know what players?
Yeah. So it's more specifically Kevin Durant.
Okay. Kevin Durant.
And the reason I say that is because that kind of brings us to our next topic about Kevin Durant, because let's keep in mind Kevin Durant specifically wanted to go to the Golden State Warriors. Now, we kind of find this weird how he was he was over there with the Thunder in Oklahoma City, and they weren't really doing much. So most kind of said that he kind of knew he was going for a winning team, right? So he just chose out of nowhere. He just chose to go Golden State. That seems a little weird. But anyway, Serena, what do you got there?
Kevin Durant scored 38 points in the game.
38 points in the whole game.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I feel like he probably could have did better, but I didn't watch the game. I've been busy kind of setting up the show or whatever. But
he was in the game for 37 minutes. Is it 37 minutes in game?
Yeah, well, that's kind of Kevin Durant-ish anyway. So on to the next subject here, because I don't want to spend too much time on Kevin Durant. there's a little question as far as being that this is the third time. You know, last year there was an incident where everybody thought that LeBron should be the MVP. They wound up giving it to somebody else. I'm not going to scream controversy on that. But anyway, so the question is, you got Kevin Durant, you've got LeBron, and you've got that other guy that I can't think of his name because he's hard to remember. Obviously, what is that other guy's name? Stephen Curry.
Stephen Curry.
Yeah, Stephen. Yeah. Why'd you say it like that?
Say his name.
Anyway, so Stephen Curry. So you got those three incredibly, you got to have respect for them, incredibly good players. So the question is, who's going to be the next MVP? I'm going to take a shot in the dark. I'm going to say I honestly believe Cleveland's going to win this game. LeBron's playing like he almost has something to prove anyway. So I'm going to say Cleveland's going to win, but I honestly feel like they're probably going to wind up giving it to somebody on the other team just for the hell of it, because I guess they can. I'm not really a fan of NBA politics, but what do you think, Corey?
Oh, I'm like you. I'm thinking they're going to give it to somebody else instead of LeBron James. But I also think Golden State's going to win this time. Really hope so.
On to some wrestling news. This kind of...
Golden State gonna win.
You think Golden State going to win?
Yes.
Of course you would think that. That's because Stephen's over there, right?
Yeah.
What is that guy's name on that Steve Urkel show?
Stefan.
No,
Steven.
they're close. So anyway, second segment, as always, as we always do it, is pretty much what we like to call we don't call it anything. It's just a question segment. We don't have funny names. We don't have, it's just questions.
Questions and opinions.
So the way it works, to me, I ask the questions. Corey and I give the opinions. Sometimes Corey and I don't agree on things. Sometimes we do, but it's very, very rare.
We don't always have to agree.
We don't always agree.
No.
But that makes for good radio, right? So, with that being said, Tamia, take it away.
All right. Well, do y'all think Scott Steiner can revive Impact?
So as we know, Scott Steiner kind of made his return, as I may put it, his return to TNA here last week. Was it entertaining? No. Was it a surprise? No. Was it interesting at all? No. I don't know if you saw it, Corey, but like I said, he made his return. And when I was literally sitting here watching it, right? Mm-hmm. And he made his big triumphant return where he sided with Josh Matthews.
Oh, God.
And it was going to be Josh Matthews versus the fake Abyss guy and the JB, the announcer, right? And here comes Scott Steiner, and he's walking down there, and nobody is saying anything. Now, meanwhile, in the background, you can see, like, people clapping their hands, woo, but nobody's clapping. But you hear people clapping their hands. All you hear, but you don't see it. You don't see anybody clapping their hands.
Like applauses.
Yeah, it's like canned applause. And I'm sitting here like, What is going on? I mean, you're sitting there and all you hear is, it's like all you hear in the background, woo, woo, and nobody is clapping, nobody is reacting.
I've noticed that.
Do I think Scott Steiner can revive Impact? No. Because if he did, then that canned pop would have been better than this. That's what it sounded like. How?
Oh.
That's how dead it was. Now, me at home, how can I be excited if they're not excited?
Exactly.
First of all, it's Scott Steiner, for crying out loud. I mean, I haven't been excited about Scott Steiner since he was in WCW, but you know, when he tried to add, you know. But anyway, Corey, what do you think? What do you think about Scott Steiner's triumphant? I can't speak English. What do you think about his big return?
To answer the question, no. No. Just plain no. I actually saw that on YouTube, and my first reaction was like, WTF? Like, what in the world? Like, was they going on? I just remember seeing Josh Matthews and some bad announcer just running through the crowd and stuff, and Scott Steiner just going after him. Like, what in the world is this? Like, is this supposed to make sense? Like, is this supposed to be Impact's way of trying to save themselves, bring back Scott Steiner?
I swear, Corey, for like 5 minutes, it was just them running through the crowd. Why? What was that? What was that supposed to be?
Yeah, I'm like, what in the world is this? And TNA wonders why I tune every time I somehow have to find them on TV on Thursday. I end up watching for maybe like 10 minutes or like, that's even if I'm even watching in the first place, because sometimes I tune them out. And I end up just changing the channel or something else. Like, this, yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do.
They don't know what they're trying to do.
I don't think they do. I don't think they know. I don't think they know what they're trying to do. I don't even know if they know. I don't even think they know what they're doing, period. I mean, every week it seems like you should at least try. I don't even think they're doing that. I don't even think they're trying. It seems almost like they just write stuff just to get it by. And then if it doesn't get by in the crowd, then obviously what they'll do is they'll just maybe we should just do that.
They're really trying to compete with WWE and everybody, but they're not doing too well. They can't compete with them.
No, they can't. So you asked us if we think he's going to revive Impact. No.
When's the last time Scott Steiner's been relevant? WCW, and that has been almost 20-some years ago.
And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to let him have that. I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, speaking of can pop, that's what you call it.
Yeah.
What do you think about the TNA Fake fan pops?
What I think about it?
Yep.
How awkward was that? That was very awkward. What if I just every week we do the show, I just sit here every week that we come on and we sit here. What if I just, for no odd reason, just for no odd reason, it's nothing interesting at all. If Corey says, "Hey," you know what I mean? That's what they do. Something awkward happens in the ring, and they do a fake pop. I mean, go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
I didn't even like what WWE used to do for SmackDown. Before SmackDown became live and everything, they used to edit their crowd reactions, and you can tell like the fake boos were like fake, and it just didn't sound right. I don't like it when they try to put fake pops and boos and cheers in, and it definitely won't like it TNA or Impact, whatever they call themselves now.
Because Corey, there's a difference. There's a difference between when WWE did it, and there's a difference between when TNA does it. When TNA does it, let's say a person is coming. Let's say a person is in the ring talking. They'll do a fake pop, right? And they'll show the crowd. Now, when they show the crowd's standing up and they're clapping and everything, right? But the lights are flashing. Now, in the ring, the lights aren't flashing. But when they cut to the crowd, the lights flashing. So, obviously, they're recording. Obviously, they just took that from when the show opened, when they pumped the crowd up. Get up and give me a T, give me an N, all that stupid crap. So when they get them to get up, they obviously take pieces from that and play it during the show. Don't get caught, is what I'm saying. Don't get caught. It's blatant. It's in your face. If I can tell, then it's not interesting. Corey's about to say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't like it when they do it. I'm sure not gonna like it when TNA does it, and it is shady. It's really, really shady.
Sometimes they reuse clips of audience members clapping. Have you noticed that? Yeah,
and that's what I was saying, and I don't like it. I shouldn't be able to see it. And if I see it, then it just turns me off because it just tells me that you're trying to force me to feel a certain way. So.
Well, enough of the TNA or Impact stuff. Has WWE ruined Seth Rollins and Nakamura? And, what do y'all think?
Ooh, Corey.
By Seth Rollins.
Has WWE ruined Seth Rollins, Corey?
Well, I'm gonna say yes and no, somewhat. Like, it's a complicated answer. Like, I think Seth Rollins is better now than what he was when he was WWE champion, because it seemed like WWE, in my opinion, he didn't have any credibility in just the way he was being portrayed. And right now he is better, but I think he can be even better. Like right now, Seth Rollins should be red hot. He should be all over the place. Like, and he's not. And I kind of like fault WWE a little bit, because here Seth Rollins is the guy from WrestleMania who slayed the king and everything, and they're building on that, but it just doesn't feel like a big of an impact as it should be. It just seems like something was lacking.
Yeah, it's just he ain't the same like he was before. It's just weird.
And this might be touching base that Seth Rollins can't control, but it seems like since he lost the curb stomp, he's just been. It just seems like he's been trying to search for something. He's been like, hey, I tried the pedigree, I've been doing it. Just been set up, then he tried this new kick that he's been doing. It just seems off. Like it just seems like ever since they took away the curb stomp, what stayed Seth Rollins, and just feel like it's not there. And that's what I wasn't about to say it's a complicated answer.
So honestly, I agree with Corey in certain areas. Seth when he started out, he was, they were good. because it was three of them, and the three people made kind of like one big person. If you saw one, you saw all, and they weren't really good separate, right? But as time got along, obviously they broke up, and Seth went his own way. Seth is good. He is, and I'm going to admit it. Seth is good. He, obviously when he was in Ring of Honor, he was good. He's
good. He just isn't.
Well, he's one of those technical wrestlers, but I feel like ever since those injuries kind of came into play, he's got those two leg injuries. I kind of feel like that was when I don't think it was when he lost to Curve Stone. I think it was after that first injury, after he tweaked his knee that first time. I think that is what changed him. I believe that because let's keep in mind, and it might not even be physical. It might not be something that we can see, but I feel like maybe this is something like this is him. Like this is more mental for him, because let's look back here. Seth was like on top of the world.
Yeah.
Like Seth was WWE. He was that guy, right? He was it. And so you go from carrying the WWE on your back, you are the heel. And you go from carrying it on your back to all of a sudden one night everything changes. And you go from something, I'm not going to say to nothing, but you go from being on top of the world to just suddenly just having almost nothing. And so I honestly feel like it's more him than it is his body, or his wrestling move, or his finisher. I think it's more
psychological.
I think it's more psychological, and I think that goes for all the wrestlers really. When you look at what they go through on a day-to-day basis, I don't think pain really bothers them as much, and I hate to say it like that, but I think they look at where they are, where they want to be, or where they were at some point if they were a big champion. So then, and I don't even know if I answered the question. Has WWE ruined him? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Not Nakamura.
Has WWE ruined Nakamura? Yeah, a little bit.
How so?
I do, really?
Yeah, I believe they have. What do you say, no, Corey?
I was just questioning, because I haven't really seen his Dolph Ziggler matches yet, but I think people were saying like Dolph was getting more in the match than Nakamura was. Even though Nakamura won it.
I believe they have. I believe they've kind of watered it down a little bit, because during that whole Backlash thing, they were playing his music every 6 seconds on every other commercial, and he came out every every SmackDown he comes out, and he does his little dab thing when he dances and stuff like that, and it's all cool, it's all fun, it gets you into it, and when we go see the show, we're going to be into it too. But I feel like if you do it every week, it gets old. If you do the same thing every week, it gets really, really old. That's just like if we were to come on this show and talk about the same stuff every week.
Yeah.
It would get really old really fast. And I feel like either they should let him come out one week and not come out the next week, just so we can kind of get over it, and then let him come back. But have they watered him down? Yeah, since he's been there, yeah.
I never knew they was gonna water him down somewhat. when he came up, from NXT to SmackDown. I already knew that was coming.
It seems like it happens. It seems like it happens It seems like it happens to almost everybody. Everybody almost at some point gets watered down to, like we were talking about earlier with Sasha or even Enzo and Cass. Wow. Like, talk about people that have been watered down. I mean,
I used to be so excited to see them. Now I'm like,
I mean, look at what they're getting.
Dang, like, it seems like every week, here comes Cass, and then Enzo's getting attacked again.
And I've got something to say about that, but I'm gonna leave that for that third segment. But to the point, just to answer your question, so we can move on here. Do I think they're ordering him down? No. Are they ruining him? No. They're not ruining him, but what did I say? Did I say no? I meant to say they are. They're not ruining him. They're watering him down. They're not ruining him, not yet at least. But if they keep playing his music every single 30-second commercial, and they keep letting him come out and dance and talking and stuff like that, it'll get old real fast.
all right. Well, I thought we were done talking about TNA and their foolishness, but how confusing is it to have both the GFW and the TNA titles in one show?
Very.
Oh, yeah.
Makes no sense. That's just like having the WWE. That's just like having the WWE title and the Universal Championship on the same show. Makes no sense. And not only do they have a GFW champion and a Impact Wrestling champion and a Grand. I still don't know the name of that freaking title. The Grand Championship title, whatever. So they have 3 world champions on one show. They have two sets of tag team champions on one show. 2 women champions on one show. How and the show's only 2 hours. How am I supposed to keep up with that?
Yeah, it has two many titles. Too many.
I mean, it seems to me like Jeff Jarrett just wanted this time just so he could get GFW on TV because he couldn't get it on TV in the first place.
Yeah.
So he really, and this is going to get a little deep here, but really, how I feel is that he wanted to take TNA over so he can turn it into GFW. Like I said, GFW couldn't find a show. They couldn't find a TV station, right? They couldn't they couldn't cut a deal. So they said, "Hey, TNA's struggling. Let's go over there. Let's tell TNA that it's about them," which is what they said when it all started over. Let's tell TNA that it's about them. Let's tell them that we're here to make and it's a tweet. It's a tweet. Make Impact great again. # make Impact great again, right? It's a tweet.
Yeah.
But it seems like you're making GFW great. And in making GFW great by bringing out all the GFW stars, right? And getting them, putting them over the TNA stars, what's that say? That's not # making TNA great. That's making GFW great.
Making GFW get noticed more.
Exactly. So this just seems like a hostile takeover to me. So yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like he needs to make up his mind if he's going to, and apparently he's not the president because there's some other idiot who's president.
Yeah.
But anyway, I can't watch a show with us 3 champions, 2 of these and 2 of those. And it's confusing. I don't want to be confused. It's bad enough that I watch Raw every week and I'm confused there. I don't want to be confused on Thursdays either.
And if we are, what era is it?
I think we somewhat, or I want to say like we're in the, I guess we could say social media era, because it's just for lack of a better word to describe, because it seems like everything, like they're trying to get it, I don't know, trend, or they're trying to get it noticed on Twitter. So there's emphasis on social media these days, and I guess you could say, yeah, somewhere. I think we're in a year, because it seems like I think you touched on this last week, Derek. Like how WWE starts a new season like every year after WrestleMania. I actually say new season or so. It kind of feels like a new era. Complicated, but I think so.
I agree. I think we're in a new era, but I kind of agree on the social media thing. I don't think it's a social media era right now, because if you look at it, that this whole social media thing started here a while back anyway, where everything was on social media, and that's been about 4 or 5 years ago. Right now, I feel like wrestling has changed over the last 5 years. Really, if you look at the difference in superstars, and now if you look at wrestling in a scope like WWE, New Japan, TNA, all the independents, Ring of Honor, stuff like that. If you look at all of wrestling in a scope, you'll see that it's all about like high spots.
Yeah.
It's all about flips and just all kinds of tricks. And while be it entertaining, it's still a little dangerous.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because the whole thing about flips and dangerous stuff, it kind of ties into the whole Randy Orton thing that we know. I think it was about a week ago.
We're gonna talk about that too.
That's coming up, Corey.
We're definitely gonna hit on that.
Yeah, that's coming up here in a second, because we're about to, and because especially when this came up, you and I were talking about this kind of a little bit, Corey, and I really want to get your opinion as far as on the show. But just to kind of close this out real quick so we can get to that, this is a different era. It's more of a high spot era, because it's, the world we live in nowadays, it's all about everything being, people in America right now, and I'm just going to speak for America, people in America want things fast, right?
Yeah.
Like we want things quick, like we want it in a microwave so you can get it in 5 seconds.
Quick and in a hurry.
Yes. Welcome back. Let's be honest. Last segment, we really covered a lot there. Too much to even go back over. So we're going to go ahead and go with the next topic, the topic that I know Corey has been waiting for, and I've personally been waiting to hear what Corey has to say. And it's about this whole Randy Orton situation.
Can I say that?
Randy Orton in his little, I don't know if it's drunken tweets. I don't even know what his situation was. We all know Randy Orton has his moments. But yeah, Tamia, set that up for me.
Okay. Well, this all started when Rip Rogers retweeted a tweet that a guy by the name of Daniel Parker, he's a pro wrestler in Canada, he posted this little insert. Should I read a little bit of it or what?
It's up on Twitter. And you can read a piece of it, but not the whole thing, because it's a bit long.
Every indie match now, handshake, drawn out move exchange, this is awesome chant, strike exchange, dive. no sell indies strong style dive.
And keep in mind, this all started just from this one tweet. Right. So just to bounce off of that, Randy Orton, was it Randy Orton who commented next?
Well, yeah, Bubba, oh Lord, it's hilarious. Bubba Ray posted a picture of him diving off the top rope at a recent ROH event, and it says dive. Now, mind you, he posted that right after Rip Rogers posted that thing, the dive thing. And so Randy decided he wanted to troll Bubba Ray. And so Randy sent out a tweet that says, "LOL, there is a difference between a young, hungry talent diving and an old, out-of-shape vet falling." Now, I've heard somewhere that back in the day when Bubba Ray was like really big, him diving off the ropes, was called a falling bus. Just wanted to throw that in there. So anyway, Bubba Ray, his girlfriend, chimed in and basically was like, that was a dick move, And Bubba Ray finally answered and replied back and just basically told him that tweet didn't have nothing to do with you, and looks like you're wrong again. You're still awesome. Following House of Horrors.
It's a long exchange.
That was it. But Randy Orton started trolling again.
Yeah. Well, it's a long exchange, and it's a lot. Corey, I know you had some opinions on that.
Bubba Ray was trying to say that he wasn't, piggybacking off of Rip Rogers' tweet, though. He said he was just making fun of himself.
Yeah. And
those two just happened to, collide,
Yeah. Corey, you had an opinion?
Okay, now, first thing, I know Randy Orton was, sort of joking with him stuff about that, but, I certainly don't think Randy Orton's boring, because he's had some pretty good matches over the years, and I really think Randy Orton's underrated. He's not going to be somebody like Bret Hart or AJ Styles, but he's still a good wrestler in his own right. I think a lot of people underrate him. Now, as far as the comment, I kind of agree with Randy Orton because when you look at it, and I'm not trying to insult the guys in England because I know a lot of them are passionate about what they do. But some of it is kind of high risk and pretty dangerous. I've looked at some of the videos, YouTube videos of some of the moves they do, and some of it was very, very risky. You could, in one wrong move, you can injure somebody. And Randy Orton, the only thing he was trying to really say was hey, you can sit here and I'm not trying to take a knock at any of the guys on the indies, but hey, you can sit here and you can injure yourself for a few dollars, or I can sit here and wrestle safely, earn my couple million. Now, he might have been a little snarky in some of the stuff he said, but he does have a point. Some of the stuff they do is kind of dangerous, and I don't think Randy Orton was trying to put them down or anything, but he's just bringing he's just bringing realization to the fact that hey, dashing and doing all the flashy moves and stuff. It looks good, but hey, you can injure yourself if you keep doing it over and over, and I think that's kind of what the point of that that tweet that actually went out was. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, Randy did later tweet sorry to all the indie people and the indie guys. who actually do dive, he just said he was just having a good time. He was just joking around, and yeah, he apologized. Quote.
That whole situation, I think that took a couple days to kind of weigh out. That whole situation was kind of a little awkward. I don't know if that started out from a drunken tweet or what.
Well, I read that him and Bubba Ray used to be into it.
Yeah, well.
They don't like each other.
Well, be it as it may, Randy Orton has a history of just doing random weird things, of being awkward. So I don't know if we should chalk this up to being awkward or not. But going from awkward to something that's kind of cool, and because we're going to run through this run sheet real quick, going from something awkward to pretty cool is we were talking about the women's tournament. Well, it's gotten a name. It's called the Mae Young Classic. As we know, the tag team division had they have their classic every year. It's called the Dusty Rhodes Classic. Well, this women's tournament is called the Mae Young Classic. Triple H posted it up on Twitter here. I think it was last week or so. And it's going to be July 13th and the 14th. I personally am pretty excited about it, as I've said this show and the show before. Because I'm really excited for it, because it's going to be 32 of the best women around the world who are going to come to one place, and instead of being separate, they're going to come in one place and perform for us, the WWE division, the WWE, I should say, fans, or universe, I guess they call us. But anyway, I'm excited about it. I really am. I'm interested to see if this is even going to make its own show. But you never know with WWE. Corey, what do you think about the Mae Young Classic?
Yeah, I'm interested myself. I've been wanting a women's tournament for the longest, but yeah, it's definitely a showcase. The show that day, the way they can put on just as good of matches as the men can.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm ready for it too. But at the end of the day, no matter what, I believe WWE's. I know we talked about a lot in this show, and at the end of the day, I know WWE's going to put on a good show. Sometimes we're gonna love it, sometimes we're not. But I guess that's why they're entertainment. I guess, I don't know. Big show we've had today, huh? We've went over. We've really went over a lot today. We've talked about the Randy Orton situation. We've talked about the Raw division, women's division, so on and so forth. So next week we're going to kind of do a little. Next week we're going to kind of do a game. We're going to do what we're going to call a little draft. We're going to go Raw and TNA. We need to find the people who are going to make Raw and Impact great again. Sounds like a Jeff Jarrett tweet. We're going to find out who's going to make these shows great again. The way it's going to work is we're going to take 10 slots each show. 10 for Raw, 10 from WWE, 10 for Smackdown, and we're going to draft somebody from Impact to Raw, to WWE, or from WWE to Impact. So that should be interesting.
It should be fun.
I'm thinking it will be. So we're going to do that next week. We're also, as always, we're going to run over whatever's topical. Anyway, I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about. So for a pretty good show, don't you agree?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think we're going to have to get out of here because Corey's getting upset. Anybody got anything before we close this out? Nothing at all. All right. So for for Corey, for Tamia. You've been listening to Let's Be Honest. Actually, before we do that, I want to make sure that everybody, knows what's going on. As Tamia said at the beginning of the show, we're in multiple places now. So now you can find us in multiple areas. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we are now on Google, and we are now on Apple. Make sure you look us up. She's going to post the links on iTunes. Make sure Tamia's going to post those links up. Make sure.
I'm going to put them in the description.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, she's going to post them down below. Make sure you check us out, man. No matter where, we're going to be everywhere. So
we're expanding.
Scared.
We're expanding, and it's going to be bigger. We're going to get bigger as time goes on. We're looking to have contests and stuff like that. We'll give you, the viewers and the listeners, gifts for listening to the show. So just remember that we love you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We do this for free. We don't want to charge you anything. It's what we love to do. So for Tamia, for Corey, I'm Derek. I always got to do that, don't you? You listen to Let's Be Honest. We'll see you next week.